Hello everyone, this is David the Real Med White once again. How is democracy a tool that is used for mass deception? The process is actually quite simple, and I believe that people intuitively are aware of this, but I think they also need to intellectually at least also be aware of what's going on. If you look at democracy as a political ideology, one of its main presuppositions, one of its main ideas, not presupposition, is that a citizen of that nation has the right to vote, has the right to partake in the political process. And because you have that right to partake in said political process, you feel a moral obligation to partake in it, right? Because you have the right, suddenly any decision you're going to be making in the political sphere, the act of voting itself, can affect your entire country, and as a matter of fact, even the entire world itself. And so you feel morally responsible for what's going on. Now, because you're morally responsible, or at least you feel morally responsible, you will be looking for sources of information. You'll be looking for information to be a more aware citizen, right? You want to be a politically aware citizen so you can make good judgments. But the problems start to arise from that notion. So you want to become a politically aware citizen. Well, how do you attain information to become politically aware? Well, the answer most of the time, if not all the time, is going to be news media. You're going to be relying on news media. You're going to be looking at news media and look at the information coming from news media, and you're going to be making judgments by looking at the news. But the issue here is, what if the news media is or rather, to be more accurate, how are you certain? How can you be sure that the news media is unbiased? As a matter of fact, every single news media inherently is going to be biased, and you're not going to be able to filter that bias. If you Fox News or CNN, right? You have Fox News and CNN. Two of those cover the same news. They're going to be covering that same information through different lenses, and you are inevitably going to be influenced by that, and everyone, I think, is aware of this. And so the way democracy leads to mass deception is that if you control the media, you control the flow of information. You control the flow of information, suddenly you control what the people think, and you can get people to vote any way they want. You can get people to do anything you want. If you want people to suddenly start rioting, you can influence that. You can influence those people in every single way. And evidently, this has been happening. And even theoretically speaking, even if you put this forward as a theory, I think it's a very compelling argument. And so, if you want to recap, if you want to look back at what I'm trying to say here, is that the only source of information, or the source of information for most people, is going to be news media. Even if you don't care about mainstream media, you're still going to be influenced, and you're still going to be affected by it, because most of the people are influenced by news media, and people influence others, and so it's just going to be reflected on you. And so one way or the other, you're going to come in contact with it. You're going to be influenced by it. And so because most people are influenced by news media, that influence is going to be spread. And we're seeing in the US, most people actually don't even take news media seriously. They don't take mainstream media seriously. But that doesn't matter, because mainstream media is still strong in terms of influence as ever. And so democracy inherently leads to that, because as I said before, the voting power, the people, if the people really are deciding what the government does, or what sort of a political structure the nation is going to go, well, the way you can control people, the weapon that the people use is going to be their political information. And how do they gain political information? Through news media. So you control the news media, you control the people. Sounds pretty simple. I'm pretty sure that's not very difficult to understand. And so if you want to understand why people are being deceived, why people are being controlled, I will say that you should look at democracy. And this has been going far back, but at this stage, it has been amplified to a certain level where it can't be compared to any other times. And so if you want, at foundation, if you want to understand how people are deceived, look at democracy, look no further than democracy, and you'll start to get your answers, and how the devil uses democracy to get his influence in. And so thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless all of you.